And welcome back to the week of Who Would Win. We're playing catch up. I kind of missed out on the last two Who Would Win, so I'm getting all of them out today. And there's still one for tomorrow as well. So this one comes to us from Richard Akala, who asked the question, who would win in a fight? Ben 10, the original series, the OG Ben 10. And yes, it's the same character, just over different time periods. But don't forget there was a rebooted one as well. But you're talking about Ben 10 Classic versus King Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, there's two ways to look at this fight. A, Ben without the Master Control, and B, Ben with the Master Control. So we'll look at both versions of that fight. So let's go over again King Ghidorah real quick, because Ben's going to have the more extensive explanation just given all of his monsters, or his aliens. King Ghidorah is an extraterrestrial, basically Hydra-esque dragon alien being. Even in King of the Monsters, he's still an alien. They do say that. Who came to Earth millions of years ago, possibly billions of years ago, had a rivalry with Godzilla, got frozen, then got released in King of the Monsters, and he's one of the primary antagonists in the movie. The primary kaiju antagonist, not the primary human antagonist. As it stands, this King Ghidorah, it may be one of the largest versions we've ever had, at 521 feet, 141 tons of, oh god, no. All three heads do have slightly different personalities, with the middle one being the ringleader, the right one being more of just a loyal, like attack dog kind of, and the left one being named Kevin. No joke. It's basically Ichi is the name of the middle head, Ni is the name of the right head, and San, aka Kevin, is the left head. Kevin's kind of the dopey one. The middle one's the ringleader, and Ghidorah is depicted as a very malevolent, nasty creature in this world. He is capable of, obviously he's capable of flying. He has no actual arms. If he had arms, oh god. But he's capable of flying, creating hurricane wings just by flying. In fact, he creates generally a hurricane itself, affecting the world's climatology, weather and climate, just by flying and being awoken. He's bioelectrical, meaning he is capable, he has, electrical systems, a natural electrical system within him, meaning, he'll make water boil, create ionized sort of systems just by kind of existing. Otherworldly tempests and thunderstorms. His gravity beams, which is concentrated lightning, are basically, giant blasts of lightning that can vaporize most things. Godzilla got hit with them, and he's fine, but he's Godzilla. Normal humans getting hit with them, no, they're gone. Instantaneous, just gone. And he can charge stuff out by siphoning off even more electricity. He's also quite intelligent, and one of the big things that they added onto this version was a regeneration factor. When Godzilla ripped his head off, he was able to completely regrow that head, brain, and all. Now, to be fair, it's not an instantaneous regeneration. I think it was a conscious regeneration. Like, he had to focus on regenerating his head. But as soon as he did, he could regenerate it. That being said, though, he also was able to regenerate holes in his wings, memories that have been torn or burnt during his fight with Godzilla within seconds. The head took a bit longer, though. And durability-wise, he survived the oxygen destroyer, which, because of his otherworldly physiology, he doesn't need to breathe oxygen. So anything that did need to breathe oxygen just had oxygen molecules within you, it just immediately targets that and just destroys that and breaks it down on the cellular level. Ghidorah is completely immune to that. He could tank missile explosions, though it's clear that they did hurt him on some level. He was able to just block them. Some missile explosion. He was able to pretty much take an atomic blast from Godzilla without too much, and they supercharged Godzilla without too much difficulty. He was able to strong enough to lift Godzilla up with his claws in the sky and drop him from high enough that he actually started to burn up in re-entry. He's able to drain energy, siphon off energy from other individuals or locations. Ghidorah is a messed up, powerful individual, but he does have some weaknesses. Or anything, obviously, was not able to withstand a thermonuclear pulse from Godzilla. He's also not a aquatic being, so when Godzilla got him into the ocean, he was at a disadvantage. The creators of the film even said that Godzilla was a little at loss in the first time round they had. Second round, if that fight had continued, Godzilla would have legitimately won that fight. The creators even came out and said it, but then the military, being dumbasses, had to get involved, and there you have it. So Ghidorah can just be overpowered if by some miracle you are that strong. So Ghidorah is an extremely powerful kaiju. He's usually depicted as one of the strongest kaijus in the series. So with Ben Tennyson, obviously he is a 10-year-old kid. He has access to the Omnitrix, which is attached to him is a it's not a weapon. It is actually just kind of designed as a walk in your shoes kind of thing to help with relations. But you can basically transform into different alien species with different abilities. His core 10 individuals would be available in this fight. If we're going with Classic Ben, he also had access to Upchuck, Ditto, Wildvine, Cannonbolt, and Way Big, and Eye Guy. Now that's 6 other aliens he had. I might be missing one, but those are like the other 6 main ones I know he got. If we're going by all of the aliens he can transform into, there's Heat Blast, which was his first transformation. I can't remember the name. I'm not going to remember the alien species name, but essentially they live on a star, and he's basically living fire. He's living magma, sentient flame being, creating high intensity heat, and if he gets cold, it can turn into ice. Pretty durable too, and he can even launch stuff and fly. You have Ripjaw, who is a shark, kind of a creature from the Black Lagoon, shark-esque being. Can on his jaw, breathe underwater, fly at high speeds. With the lantern on his head, he can see in the dark, but he can't let it breathe outside the water. You have Gray Matter, who's highly intelligent. That's really, and small, so he can avoid a lot of stuff. So you have that. You have Diamond Head. I believe it's a Petrosapien. That's what they're called. I think I should remember that one. A crystal being who highly durable, create lots of crystal structures, refract light, and reflected too. Lasers basically act as a prism in many ways. Pretty durable, really good in like just a solid brawl, but is vulnerable to shattering through high vibrations or just enough power that could kill him. Forearms is a is it a Tetraman? I can't remember exactly that's the name of that species, but basically physically powerful. 4-armed individual, can easily lift a couple tons, create shock waves by clapping. So that's 5. Ghost Freak, Ectos, I can't remember exactly what they're called. It's a ghost-like alien. He can phase. I think he can even possess, if I'm not mistaken. He can scare the living, Jesus by showing his real form, just scaring individuals. Then you have Stinkfly, a durable insectoid who can fly, shoot goop that is actually also flammable. Upgrade, who is they're actually a galvanic mechamorph, I believe they're called. Actually created by the Gallons, who are Grey Matter's race. And he can possess any machinery, upgrade it, shoot lasers, concentrate lasers, so quite powerful in that regard as well. Who are the 2 I'm missing at the moment? Wild Mutt, that's the other one I'm missing at the moment. A Vulpin, I remember that. A Vulpinmancer, that's what it's called. Basically no eyes, but he can see through sound and is capable of lots of acrobatics. And then who was the final one of the original 10? Accelerate. It could move fast enough to a super speed lizard can move fast enough to create tornadoes by moving his hands around or just outrace lightning. And then if we go to the other 6, you have Cannonbolt, who is basically a giant tick that turns into a cannonball and just can plow over individuals. Ditto, who can multiply himself repeatedly. Oh, that's right. Ben also, I forgot. Ben also did get access to Ben Victor, basically the Frankenstein individual, the Yanaldushi, the werewolf, and the mummy. I forgot about those guys. Or Snarrow, as I believe he got affectionately called. But Upchuck can absorb it or can consume any inorganic matter and shoot it back as an energy blast. Wildvine, which is actually one of my favorites and probably one of the stronger ones, is a living plant individual who can meld with plants for stealth and hiding and quick movements. Stretch, move pretty quick, throw explosive seeds or it's like sleep seeds. Many different things in that regard. Who am I missing on in terms of his extra alien? Way Big, how big is Way Big? That's the one size-wise that might be able to compete with Ghidorah on Solo. Way Big. Alright, Way Big. How big did Way Big get? Remember, we're using only classic Way Big, not ultimate Way Big. Way Big. Ben is Way Big. Okay, where is the... his size. Okay, power. Big and strong even for his size. Okay, that's good to know. But how big is way big? Because I know when he goes into ultimate way big, his size like doubles. So let's see here. Come on, give me a hand strength, durability. He's that's right. He's got cosmic storm manipulation, which is also extremely powerful. That doesn't give me his size. How big was way big? You'd think I'd look this stuff up. What type of aliens? Who invented? How many aliens can Ben become? Okay, way big. Let's see. Way big. Size. Fine. Okay. It's supposed to be about 120 feet tall. Okay. And apparently he's his 6th most powerful alien form. Makes sense. Is it portrayed inconsistent? He's around 120 feet tall. All right. And then you got Snarrow, who was another one of my favorites. That's one I wish Ben would have used a bit more often. Who's got some enhanced strength, regeneration, durability, but his fabric can tear. The Yanodushi, which is durable, has a sonic scream. And Ben and Victor, who is durable, can survive in space, lightning-based abilities. So, again, let's break this down. There's 2 ways to look at this. Classic Ben without Master Control, which means we have to put every alien against Ghidorah and see if any of them could actually beat Ghidorah. And then with Master Control, which could definitely give him more of an edge. So let's break down that first scenario. Going over each alien really quick. Ben 10... Give me 1 second. I'm going to get all the classic aliens. Ben 10... Ben 10... Omnitrix... Aliens. I want to get these up here so I can just... What are all... Oh, God. Yeah, right. Someone asked a question. What are all of Ben's aliens? Let's go the aliens just from the franchise. Okay. Oh, actually, no. They did them in order. Thank God for that. So let's... Oh, no. Don't do that. Darn it. Give me 1 second here. Someone actually had put a list together. Okay, the list of Ben 10 aliens. Alright. Why are you doing... For some reason, it's not giving me the aliens. It's giving me just the characters. But that's not... I don't know. Okay, list of all Omnitrix aliens. Let's go with that. Category Omnitrix aliens. Ben 10. Alright, give me a second here. Sorry about that. Crud. They're going alphabetically. I don't care about that alphabetically. I'm looking for... This is irritating. I'll just have to remember off the top of my head. Anyway, so going by the list of how they showed up. Okay, could Heat Blast beat Ghidorah? No. The Heat Blast, as far as you know, cannot get as hot as a supernova. Despite the fact that Heat Blast lives on the sun or on a star, he can't go supernova, and even if he could, Ghidorah wouldn't give him enough time to get that hot. Like, he has a standard level of fire he can produce, and he can probably make it hotter, but he can't go that hot. And even if he could, I very much doubt Ghidorah would give him that much time. And even if he could again, he'd have to go Godzilla level supernova to actually do lasting damage on Ghidorah, which I don't think he can do. Now, he may be able to zip around a little bit and, hit him in the face, but Ghidorah would eventually just blast him. So, and I don't think Heat Blast could survive a solid gravity beam from Ghidorah. So Heat Blast can't say that. Wild Mutt definitely cannot beat Ghidorah. That's a given. Here's the thing. Gray matter for intelligence purposes could easily beat Ghidorah. He could probably make something that would enable him to beat Ghidorah, but the problem would be having the material on hand to make that something, as well as having the time to make it. And there's no way that's Ghidorah... Now, Ghidorah could, in theory, just ignore gray matter, because at that point, it's so small, you can't even pick him up. But there's a good chance that the environment that Ghidorah creates by just existing would be detrimental to gray matter's health. So, gray matter, I can't say could beat Ghidorah most of the time. There might be a scenario where he could, but it's very unlikely. So, right off the bat, yeah, Ripjaw. Nope, can't do it. Even if you take the fight to the wire where Ghidorah's at a disadvantage, Ripjaw is just not an individual who could take on Ghidorah. He just couldn't. He's just too small and has no abilities that would allow him to do that. So Ripjaw, right out on there. Then you have Accelerate. Now, Accelerate is fast enough to dodge lightning, so he could at least avoid Ghidorah. But besides that, maybe creating some mild whirlwinds, which really wouldn't matter compared to the tempest that Ghidorah creates just by flapping his wings. Again, he lacks physicality enough to be able to beat Ghidorah. So, Accelerate can't win. Ghost Freak could avoid Ghidorah for a while, but ultimately, like, even if he tried to possess Ghidorah, he's got 4 different personalities to try to possess, so that doesn't work out there. So, Ghost Freak can't beat Ghidorah in my mind. Plus, Bright Light could be a detriment if the skin is removed. Excuse me 1 second. There we go. Stingfly. Can't really say Stingfly bleeds him either. It's, again, avoidance for some while, but really, could Stingfly even survive being in the tempest of that? I mean, just in the tempest of the storm he's creating, let alone being fried like a bug in a zapper by the gravity beams, or just being chomped up. Now, you can make an argument that the goo that he produces could maybe bind Ghidorah's mouth up, but then he just whips his tail around and just smacks him, so that wouldn't work. That leaves us with Upgrade, at least from the original 10. Upgrade, Diamond Head, and Forearms. Upgrade probably couldn't really do anything. Now, Upgrade I've always liked. Upgrade was actually probably one of my favorites as a kid or as a younger man, I should say, of the original lineup. Yeah, and he can create lasers as well. So it's a question of whether or not the lasers could even hurt Ghidorah. Just because they're lasers, I'll say they could maybe mildly hurt him, but unless Upgrade is possessing a giant machine that he could enhance and then increase the size of the laser, it's not likely he could beat Ghidorah. And even if he did possess a giant machine, it'd be a matter of doing a blast powerful enough to really do some lasting damage. Remember, this Ghidorah could tank a hit from atomic breath from a pumped up Godzilla and still get back up without too much trouble. Granted, up until he started absorbing electricity from that generator, Godzilla was actually handing him his ass in that fight. But still, he still took that blast without too much difficulty. So I don't think Upgrade could beat him. Diamond Head could maybe reflect or refract the lightning back at Ghidorah, but it's debatable if he could. Lightning isn't light; it's energy, and there's only so much that a crystal could take. I think Diamond Head could actually fare okay because he's also pretty durable and he's got a lot of physical enhancements, or he's physically more durable than some of the other guys who just went over. So he might be able to fare for a while, maybe even because they can create crystal all they want. So in theory, he might be able to encase Ghidorah in a crystal prison, but it would take a lot of effort to just keep him there, maybe starting with his feet. Ghidorah tries to flap his wings, but Diamond really puts the kibosh on that, maybe starts getting wrapped the wings. The question is, would he just seal Ghidorah away in crystal, or would Ghidorah just break out of that? I think Ghidorah would probably just break out of that. The only reason that he probably didn't break out of the ice is because when you really see how he was trapped in the ice, he was completely encased. It's not just like a layer that completely wraps him and he can't move. No, he was completely encased in ice. And then that leaves Forearms in terms of the physical strength aspect. And yeah, he's strong. He's able to take on a mammoth, but he still struggles with that mammoth to some degree. So none of Ben's original aliens, I think, could beat the. We're talking about the King of the Monsters, Monsterverse Ghidorah, who again is at 521 feet. Even Ben's biggest alien in just the original 10, who I think is maybe way big. Not way big, sorry. Is Forearms. Let's just assume my thumb right down here is Forearms, who really is only about 8 or 9 feet tall, maybe 10 if we really push it. So that's that. I mean, Ghidorah's way up there, and we've never seen Forearms compete with anything that big, so I can't say the way a Forearms works. Going into the other 6, I forgot Eye Guy. Eye Guy is a bat who has eyes that have multiple effects. He's a humanoid bat thing, and the eyes can come together, create like big effects, like freezing, fire, lightning, giant laser blast, that kind of stuff. So Cannonbolt would be irritants to Ghidorah, but that's it. Yeah, he took down that giant space tick that was draining the planet, but that was because he was able to go inside and just, wreck him out from the inside out. The problem here is that Ghidorah's mouth could easily just grab him, and then he just crushes Cannonbolt. Or just blasts him away. So Cannonbolt, I don't think could take Ghidorah down. Wildvine's a really interesting one, because Wildvine actually has the ability to put individuals to sleep with like seed bombs. In theory, mind you, if he could get a bunch of sleep bombs in all of Ghidorah's faces, mind you, then I could see a scenario where he could actually win. Plus, they're explosive, so they act like grenades. So they could at very least stall him and maybe put him to sleep. Maybe. But because he doesn't breathe oxygen or need oxygen to survive, it's difficult to say whether or not that would actually work. But hypothetically, that could work. Otherwise, again, Wildvine would just be stalling for time trying to get out of there. Upchuck, he would have to consume something really major to do enough damage to Ghidorah to hurt him. Otherwise, Upchuck can't do anything. I'm gonna... Pink. Oh well. Ditto has no other abilities other than multiplication, and he's pretty squishy otherwise, so I can't go with Ditto. Which pretty much brings us to Eye Guy and Way Big. Do those guys stand any chance in my mind? Oh, wait, and the Werewolf and the Victor. Right at the bat, I don't think any of them could really do much. The only one who really stands any legitimate shot would be Way Big. Now remember, at 120 feet tall, he's still dwarfed by Ghidorah. Let's put my hand right here as Way Big at 120 feet tall. Now, Ghidorah in this version isn't 5 times bigger than him, because that would put him at 600 feet, but he's around 4 times bigger than him. So 1, 2. So basically, yeah, that's if you compare the screen to Ghidorah, this is where Way Big stands, and Way Big doesn't get his ultimate form in this, so he can't go that route. Now he can use cosmic storms and energies to fight back. That's the only way I think Way Big can really win this. In a straight physical brawl, he won't be able to do much against Ghidorah. He might punch him and Ghidorah might feel it, but Ghidorah could quickly blast him. And he's durable enough to survive that, but be hurt, I guarantee. And like Godzilla, I think Ghidorah would, throw him into the atmosphere, bring him down to Earth. I think Way Big gets back up. Oh! And then, he tries to, do a cosmic storm effect where he just tries to blast Ghidorah. And then Ghidorah maybe can see him charging up. He fires his own gravity beams. They collide. And I think the cosmic storm is stronger than the gravity beams. The question is, are they strong enough to take Ghidorah out? It's difficult because they are big enough they are powerful enough to destroy being a pure energy, but he was a comparable size to Ghidorah, to Way Big at that point. And we have no idea what it would take to overload that individual. So I will say that yes, he could maybe take a head out. Like if he took, I don't think if you aim for the main body Ghidorah with it, it would kill him. But if you took his heads out and maybe he figures that out, takes that out. Yes, I think in that scenario, you can legitimately beat Ghidorah with Way Big. The question is if he's able to. So, of all of Ben's aliens from his original series, only 2 or 3 could really do anything against Ghidorah. And I'm going with Way Big, Wildvine, and oddly enough, Upgrade if he gets a big enough machine. I'll go with 4 if Gray Matter has time to build something that could really do it. The problem with all of Ben's aliens is, and even if we go master control with Ben, able to rotate and just kind of, keep Ghidorah at bay, the problem with almost all of Ben's aliens is they're not designed as in terms of classic Ben, anyway. Later on, we get to Alien X, Atomics, all those kind of guys, Clockwork, then you get to some pretty hacked species. But all of classic Ben's aliens, all of them, none of them are designed as planetary threats, save maybe Way Big. They're all designed as just different species aliens with cool abilities. And in the confines of that show, they're pretty powerful. But when you get against something, but they never really have to go against anything that's a planetary threat on the level of Ghidorah. Vilgax is usually the toughest individual they have to go against. And he's extremely powerful in his own right. But the difference being is that he's an individual who's concentrated down, which is why Waybig was able to just grab him and throw him into the sky when he first showed up in the movie. So, but going up against an individual of Ghidorah's power, height, stature, and everything along those lines, not to mention the fact that he has regeneration. Let's not forget that. So, here's the thing. If Ben, as Waybig, even did take out a Ghidorah head, he'd have to take them all out. Because if one survives, it's going to blast Waybig back, give him enough time to regenerate the heads, and then they're not going to let Ben do that again. So, yeah, it's got to be a one or nothing deal when it comes to Waybig using his cosmic energy abilities. So, yeah, Ghidorah pretty much curb stomps classic Ben. Like, not completely curb stomps. It's not true. And to be honest, I would be perfectly okay hearing anyone give me a legitimate reason a couple more of the other Ben aliens, again, classic series Ben, could beat Ghidorah. I would be interested in hearing how you would justify that. Because in my mind, I'm like, remembering everything they were capable of doing. Yeah, the Yamaludushi, or the Space Wolf, we'll call him, the werewolf. His sonic blast could maybe irritate Ghidorah, but it wouldn't do much to stop him. Ben Victor could summon control lightning as well, so he could absorb some of Ghidorah's lightning, sure, but electricity. But there's only probably so much he can absorb. Plus, physically, he just can't compete with Ghidorah. Snarrow would actually get his shit wrecked by Ghidorah. Snarrow would not be a good matchup for Ghidorah. Most of his aliens are just too small to even stack up, like, power-wise to him. Even his physically strongest aliens, Waybig, Diamond Head, Forearms, just really can't compete physically with Ghidorah just because out of sheer size alone. And that we've never seen them really demonstrate that. And Waybig has gone up against some individuals larger than himself, but we're talking about Waybig being depicted at 120 feet versus 521 feet from Ghidorah and at 140 tons. That's 2,000 times 140,000. So, yeah, I don't think Waybig is that strong. We've never seen that. Now, again, if we were going with a different era of Ben, Omniverse Ben, Alien Force Ben, where he had different, honestly, more powerful aliens, Alien X could take out Ghidorah like that. Though, honestly, I think Ghidorah would at least initially give Alien X a nice little fight until Alien X took it seriously. Atomix would be an interesting one because he's a radioactive being. He's an atomic being, or with lots of radiation. So, against someone like Godzilla, that'd be an interesting fight, because Godzilla could honestly just absorb the radiation. So that would actually be an interesting fight. What was it? NRG? Yeah, that was because this sounds like energy. That might be a guy who could take a Ghidorah, because he's like pure radiation, and, the thermonuclear radiation he couldn't handle from Godzilla. Ultimately, though, I gotta go Ghidorah in all these fights. There's very few scenarios where Ben can win, but there are a few where he can win. But it's got to be Ghidorah for me. Again, we're talking about King of the Monsters Ghidorah, who I believe is the largest depiction of him. Outside of the anime, which, let's not get into the anime. Don't get me wrong, Godzilla himself in the anime is a really cool depiction. But, Ghidorah left a little to be desired. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. This one a bit longer than I intended, but, it is what it is. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know the review of it at some point. I just win, Star Wars, Spirit, Magic, what if, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks later.